Welcome to the Social Bee podcast with your host, Louise Brogan. Every week, Louise will be bringing you a podcast all about women entrepreneurs, talking about their challenges, their goals, and inspiring you to either start your own business or grow the business you have. Visit www.socialbeeni.com to join our community and pick up some lovely freebies to start marketing your business online today.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Social Bee podcast. Today I am delighted to bring you the wonderful and very clearly spoken Ian Anderso Gray onto the podcast. I have seen Ian speak at the Youpreneur mid-year mastermind recently, and actually I will be seeing him again this week when I go to London for Janet Murray's Build Your Audience Live event. I'm really excited about it. But I wanted to bring Ian on because a couple of reasons. He's doing a couple of things I think that are different. Number one, he's going live on LinkedIn, which we will talk about. But number two, he's actually teaching people how to go live confidently. And I know from talking to a lot of you, my listeners, that is something that you are quite fearful of. And certainly in Social Bee Academy, in our membership community, I'm kind of gently pushing people to go live. So that I thought Ian would be a brilliant guest to bring on to have a bit of a chat about how best to do that and how to approach it. So welcome to the podcast, Ian.
Thanks, Louise. It's great to be here.
Delighted to have you here. We were just talking about how I'm based in Belfast, and we'll have to get you over here for something in the near future, I think.
Oh, that would be fun. Well, as I was saying, I love Belfast. It's been many, many years since I've been, but so that'd be great.
Excellent. So, Ian, for those for my audience who maybe haven't heard of you yet, can you give us a brief introduction into yourself, your business, and how you help people?
Yes, certainly. So, I suppose first of all, my background is kind of a little bit of a strange background in that I actually trained as a professional singer back in the day. But I've always been interested in technology. And it was really 2 or 3 years ago where I realized I could merge my love of performance and teaching as well, because I teach singing, and also technology, how I could bring all of those together in the form of live video. And I wrote an article, I sold a course on live video about 2 or 3 years ago and started speaking at conferences all around the world about live video. And I had this kind of epiphany moment when I was singing on stage at the social media marketing world. There's a big kind of funny parody musical we were putting on at the time. And I realized, wow, I could bring all these three things together. And so the Confident Live brand was born then. And I help entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority, and profits using live video confidently. And I think confidence is the big word, because as you say, people really struggle with confidence, either getting in front of the camera, they're worried about looking like an idiot or something going wrong, or they maybe struggle with confidence with the technology, or it could be confidence with the content. What on earth do you say when you get in front of the camera? Sometimes like people's brains just shut down and they don't know what to say. So I help people with to get in front of the camera and communicate with their audience confidently.
Excellent. I love that you've split it into those 3 areas: confident with the actual speaking, confident with the content they're delivering, and confident with the tech. So you're covering all bases. That's great.
Yeah,
I like that. So I have seen you singing on stage, and it's brilliant, and it really gets the audience engaged. When you did that at Social Media Marketing World, were the audience up for it?
Well, yeah, they were. And it's kind of funny. I've been, to be totally honest, I was trying to compartmentalize my life. I don't know whether, you understand this or whether you've had this, but I think there's so many aspects of our character. And I think for me, I thought, well, I can't bring my singing into my social media world and my technology world. That people aren't going to understand that. So I was really nervous about getting up. The first time I did this and I brought singing into it, I was really nervous. I thought people were going to think I was a complete nutter. But and probably people do think I'm a nutter, but that's fine. So, but I've actually got people singing in the conference in San Diego in Poland, in Slovenia, and all these conferences where people have said, oh, the audience there, the audience in Poland and Slovenia or in London, they're not quite the same as America. They're probably not going to be as involved. But you know what? They were so up for it. They were jumping up and singing their hearts out and prepared to make an idiot out of themselves. And so I'm really excited by that. I think people really do want to enjoy a bit of singing and a bit of helping themselves. Because the whole point of me doing this is really to help people to use their voices. It's not about singing in tune or anything like that. It's about just standing confidently and using their voices and also improving their posture so that they're getting the best out of themselves.
There's something about singing, isn't there? They talk about community choirs and how people are invited to join community choirs because it really is a sense of real well-being, isn't there, from singing?
Oh, so much. Yeah. It really does. I think there have been some scientific studies that have looked into what singing does to you. It really does release those endorphins and makes you feeling good about yourself because it does so many good things. First of all, it helps your breathing. So as human beings, as children, as babies, I think we know how to breathe really, really well. If you look at a newborn baby, the way their lungs and their ribcage kind of goes in and out. They're breathing amazingly. And then as we get older, we start to tense up and we stop breathing properly. Whereas when we sing, somehow it kind of gets us back to the way we should be breathing, and it opens up our throats and makes us more relaxed. It's such an amazing thing. And so it doesn't matter whether you think you can sing or not, just have a go and just, sing in the shower, get yourself going. And I always recommend before you go live, doing any kind of live video or any kind of speaking or podcasting, do some warming up and get your voice going.
That's excellent. I was in the choir at school. I cannot sing at all, but I love to sing, and I love to sing along too. So people who listen to my podcast probably know this, that I'm a massive Bruce Springsteen fan, and his new album is out, and I've been singing my heart out in the car. And sometimes you think, I hope other drivers can't see me. I look like a lunatic.
But the funny thing is, there'll be other lunatics singing along to their soundtracks in their cars as well. So I think the thing is, we're all lunatics, really.
Yeah, sometimes I think, I wonder if somebody else, if there's a song on the radio, and you think, is that person singing the same song as me?
Yeah.
Oh dear, but definitely gives you a good vibe anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm quite interested in something you said there, Ian. You said about the business is really going at like 2 or 3 years you've been doing this. But did you go straight into, like you said, you spoke at conferences all around the world. Did you start doing that at the start?
So I missed a little bit. I didn't want to give you a big long spiel about how things have happened, but basically, when I left music college, I was singing professionally and I was teaching singing, but I also set up a web agency. So we, with my dad, who retired at the same time, we built and maintain websites. And we still do that today. But then around 7 or 8 years ago, I started blogging. And it was really blogging and creating content that set this all up. I started blogging about social media tools. And it was really that kickstarted my career as a speaker. So speaking around the world. It was actually a conference in my home city of Manchester back in 2015, I think. And so I was speaking at this conference, and I was picked up really because of my content. There was a particular blog post I wrote on social media tools, and the organizer asked me to speak at this conference, and some very big names in the social media world were speaking at it, such as Mary Smith and Melanie Dodaro. And then I then I decided to take the plunge and go to social media marketing world in 2015. Just as an attendee.
Yes.
This was quite a scary thing to do because it was a long way away. It's a lot of money. But I went, and that changed everything for me. And I just all the connections I made there. And the following year, I got an email from Mike Stelzner. Now, this email basically said, we'd love you to speak at Social Media Marketing World. But did you know it ended up in my spam folder and I never saw it?
What?
So Mike Stelzner, the organizer of Social Media Marketing World, had to send me a Facebook message saying, "Did you get the email?" So, but anyway, when I got that, I nearly fell off my chair. I just, so that was really the start of everything. And it was really through creating content, through blogging. That's how it all started.
That's really fascinating, because I've heard other people say, if you want to speak at an event, you really should go to the event first. And
Yes.
some people won't ask you to speak at their event if you haven't attended before. So that is really interesting. And I would like to go to San Diego, but as you say, I mean, it's like I always come back to, where am I in my business? What am I doing? I've got 3 kids. To say to my husband, right, I'm off to California for 5 days.
Yeah.
This conference is like, what? What are you doing? Why aren't we all going? So kind of a funny story, Ian, that I was asked to speak at a conference in America very recently. And after a lot of really thinking strongly about it, I had to turn it down. And will I regret that? Who knows? But I'm coming to speak in London about LinkedIn actually in October. I'm really excited about that because I love being on stage. I suppose when we had the event recently in Belfast here, I just thought, I'm so comfortable up here talking to these people and teaching them. I love it. I'm sure you feel the same.
Yes. So, but yes and kind of no. So I'll explain what I mean by that. In that, so when I go back to that time in 2015 when I was just about to go on stage in front of these people, and I was suffering from a lot of things. I was suffering from probably what I now know is imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking to myself, why on earth did I say I was going to do this? I was so nervous.
Yes.
But then I was able to, when I got onto stage and I was able to channel that nervous energy into my performance and into my communication to the audience. And it reminded me of those days as a singer that I was really nervous. Some of the best performances I ever gave was when I was nervous. Mm-hmm. But then I went on stage, and like you say, I do suddenly get into this other zone, zone when I do feel really comfortable. Yeah. And it's a really strange thing. So beforehand, to be totally honest, I feel really nervous. And actually, I've learnt that is actually a good thing for me, because it shows that I care and that I'm able to channel that adrenaline into that time. Whereas when I think back at some of the worst performances I gave as a singer, it was when I was apathetic and I was just like not nervous at all. Mm-hmm. I went on there and I didn't give my best. Mm-hmm. So there's a kind of a strange double thing going on there.
Yes. Last week I spoke in a panel. There's a big event here in Belfast for 2 days every year called Digital DNA. It's massive. And I was invited to speak on a panel at it last week. And I did think I might throw up beforehand.
Well, you're in good company if you feel like that, because Henry Ford famously, apparently right into his old age when he was going through all these events and speaking at them, apparently before every single one, he would go up and throw up in the toilet.
Oh no, I didn't actually throw up.
So no, I know, and I haven't gone that far, but what I'm saying is that, even the people out there that you think are ultra confident, actually, if you speak to them and they're totally honest with you, they'll probably give you similar stories of them feeling very nervous before they go on, even after years and years and years of doing it. Yeah,
that's fascinating. I think it's as you say, though, it's good if you weren't a wee bit worried about going on, would you? You don't want to be complacent, because it would come across as somebody who's an expert in this. When you watch other people maybe go live or something, can you tell when they're being a bit apathetic?
Yeah, sometimes. So it's interesting. Yeah, you kind of, but it's actually quite difficult to tell, and it's actually quite difficult to tell sometimes when people are nervous, because sometimes if people are really, really nervous, they are incredibly over the top. So you'll get different types. It kind of manifests itself in different ways. Mm-hmm. So some people who are really, really nervous will go on and they look really nervous. They're kind of, and they might speak too quickly. And you get some people who are just like so overly, they're almost too energetic and they're almost over the top because they're so nervous. And so I think we're all different, and we all we all have different experiences there.
Yeah.
But the more you do it, one thing that is important to